this is my Nikon F3. This is a mint condition F3, and I've just fired at that shutter. Now I did a video a while ago on the Nikon F100. I'll put a link to that video down below in the description. And in that video I said that I think this is one of the best cameras you can buy to get into film photography, especially if you're coming from a mirrorless or a DSLR, because this camera basically operates the same. The only difference is it doesn't have a sensor, it takes film. Now I have a soft spot for Nikon cameras. I spent almost 14 years shooting professionally with Nikon cameras, from the D3 all the way up to the D6, and they went everywhere with me around the world. I shot mostly triathlon and Ironman races and cycle races, well, mostly anything with a bicycle in it. And I have over 50 front covers internationally shot with Nikon cameras, so they do have a very special place in my heart. The F100 was made between 1999 and 2006. That was a long time ago. Right, okay, and they're selling on eBay for around about $250 US in good condition. This one is brand new. It's new old stock basically. I got the camera, the manual, and the box. Now in New Zealand, we had a 5-year warranty with the Nikon F100, and the rest of the world I think you got a 1-year warranty. But obviously this camera's out of warranty now. Now the first thing you'll notice when you pick up the F100 is how solid it feels in the hand. There's no flex. It's a hefty camera. It's not a light camera, but it's built like a tank. Now the body is a magnesium alloy and it is weather sealed. So it will take a little bit of rain, but I wouldn't recommend taking it out in a downpour. If you shoot with a Nikon DSLR or a Nikon mirrorless camera, you will feel right at home with this camera. It just feels like an old friend when you pick it up. The autofocus on the F100 is probably the best autofocus system on any film camera. The F100 has a multicam autofocus sensor with 5 focus points and dynamic AF tracking. This will give you fast, accurate autofocus, and you can shoot up to 5 frames a second with the battery grip, which you can pick up for about $100 US. Now the metering system of the F100 is a color matrix metering system, which the F5, the F6 and the F100 had. If I remember right, all the Canon cameras had black and white metering, and that's why it made the Nikon film cameras much better for metering. Now you can change the metering on the side from spot to center weighted on this dial here on the prism. You've got to push the button in and you've got to turn it. That's a nice feature because it means you're not going to accidentally knock it. Now the viewfinder is a 96% coverage with a 0.76 magnification, and this is the diopter adjuster here, which has nice little clicks to it, and once you adjust your diopter you push it in and it locks in position. Obviously you get all your information in the viewfinder, your aperture, your shutter speed, your focusing, and you see your focus points. And it's a really nice bright viewfinder as well. Nikon cameras are known for being comfortable in the hand and fit in the hand really well. The body on the F100 is slimmer than a DSLR, but the grip is about the same depth, so there's more grip to hold on to. And there's this nice little rubber bit in here that your fingers lock into, which is really nice, and it's a really comfortable grip. It fits the hand really well. Now I'll just talk about some of the switches and buttons here. This is the Nikon power switch, which I absolutely love because my D3 all the way up to my D6 had the same switch. I never really switched my cameras off when I was shooting, but anyway. Then you got the mode button, so you can push this button in and you can change from aperture priority, shutter priority, program and manual. So that's what that button does there. You've got a back dial and you got a front dial. Depending on what mode you're in, those dials will do different things. So in aperture priority, the front one changes aperture and the back one changes exposure compensation. You've got a back button focus. That is not activated when you get the camera. It focuses with the shutter button. I don't like that. None of my Nikon cameras were set up with focus and shutter. I used to focus from the back and fire the shutter from the front button. You can change the focusing modes, continuous, single or manual, with this switch on the front here. Now I normally have mine set up to continuous. So if I'm tracking something, I hold the focus button down and I can track and I can fire away with the shutter. If I want single focus, I just will push that in, focus on the item and then fire the shutter, because the shutter won't refocus again. That's how I got the camera set up. If you want to set up the F100 this way or some of the other functions it has, I put a link to the manual that shows you how to change the buttons on this camera and the setup down below in the description. So you can check it out for yourself and change your camera as you like. But the only thing I've really changed is back button focus. Now loading film on the F100 couldn't be easier. You've got this button and slide switch here that you open up, so you can't accidentally open the camera. Now I'm doing this back to front, so I hope this works. You put the film in, you slide it across, tuck it in there, and then that's it, it's done. It's as easy as that. Now I have changed another feature on the F100, I have auto rewind. When the film reaches its end, it will automatically rewind. Again, if you want to do that to your camera and change some of the functions, there'll be a link to a document down below in the description. The lens I'm using on the F100 is this 35mm f1.8 AFS lens, G series lens. So it's for the modern DSLRs. A lot of people don't think these lenses work very well on these cameras, on the F100 and the F6 and the F5. They work incredibly well and they focus much faster than the old D series lenses. And I think they look a little bit better, a little bit sharper than the old D series lenses. You do have a switch on the side, so you can go from manual to autofocus. And if I change this, you can hear the shutter. Don't worry, that's an old film in there. It got damaged in the car. I left it in the car in the summer and it got super hot, so I'm never going to shoot with it. But that shutter is really nice and dampened. It's a really nice camera, and look at that setup. This cost me, I think, probably about 800 New Zealand dollars, lens and camera, in this condition. And now I've got 35. This is actually going to start to rewind now. It will automatically rewind the film as well. And then you just open the film, push that in, and there you go. And there's the film. But like I said, don't worry, don't give me any hate down in the comment section. This was a dud roll of film. I've been keeping it for an occasion like this because, like I said, I left it on the dashboard of my car in the summer and it got super hot, so I will never actually shoot with this film. So the F100 runs on 4 AA batteries, which you can literally buy anywhere. If you put the battery grip on, the battery grip goes inside the battery chamber and you have to remove this rubber grommet and you just screw it into the bottom. You do get an extra frame or half a frame per second with the battery grip, and it does have more power. I think it takes like 6 batteries or 8 batteries, something like that. But I've never had a problem with the batteries running out on any of my F100s. They last a really long time and you can get AA batteries literally anywhere. The F100 is a really nice camera. I don't think you can go wrong with it. I just wanted to do a quick video and let people know about this camera because a few people have reached out to me about getting into film photography, and I did put them on to my old video of the F100, but I thought I'd do a follow-up video because I've just bought this camera. At the end of the video, you're going to see a few photos taken with the F100 and this film I've never shot before, which is Rollei Superpan 200. I was pleasantly surprised with this film. I've never shot any of these films, to be true, for Rollei films, and I did like the look of this film. Now, I home developed and scanned the photos you're about to see, so you obviously can see them in the slideshow. So the photos in a minute will be shot with Superpan 200. Now, before I forget, I will have a video on this film in a few weeks because I've got another roll of this in my Leica MP with the 50mm 1.4 Summilux close focusing lens. Now, the reason I put the film in that camera and that lens is a few people have mentioned to me that the new close focusing 50mm vignette's really bad on a film camera, so I want to test it. So that will be out in a few weeks. And there'll also be a quick video on this film and that lens, obviously, if it vignettes. Now, one more thing before the slideshow. This is my Nikon F3. This is a mint condition F3. And I've just fired that shutter. The camera's absolute mint condition. The lens is really beat up. This is my old 50mm 1.4. I use this for video a lot because I like the character this lens gives me when shooting video. But it all works, it's just a little bit beat up. But this camera is absolutely beautiful. Now, if you didn't know what an F3 can do, look, I'll do that. You can take the top prism off and you can look down and shoot. You can actually get a waist level viewfinder for these cameras. I've been trying to find one, but I can't find one at the moment. Now, if you want me to do a video on the F3 and show some sample photos, let me know down in the comment section. I probably will do a video because I absolutely love using this camera. I prefer the F3 to the F100. But I'm used to shooting manual now because of my Leica M cameras. But this is for lazy days, I guess, really, the F100 with that lens. But this is just a really nice camera. It's built like a tank. And again, hang on. So if you want me to do a video on that, let me know down in the comment section. So here's a quick slideshow of some of the photos taken with the F100, the 35mm f1.8 G series lens, and this Rollei Superpan 200.